Hello, friends. How are you today? Well, today I have a really cool, fascinating discussion. I'm going to look at this video of the ocean waves, and we're going to talk about how the sunlight coming through and the wave itself, how these mirror actions that are going on in the Schumann resonance right now. And in fact, how they can help us understand what's going on, because we just had an interesting wave on the chart and it was actually different than everything else going on. And so there were two effects that came together. So I want to explain this to you and show you by way of example. Okay, so the first thing though, before we get into the chart, is that I wanted to let you know that I'm going to be doing a new Elevating Forgiveness class. My new forgiveness seminar is going to be this coming weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So it'll be 2 to 4 hours each day, depending on how many people we have. I will do the seminar as long as I get 2 people. I'd love to get 4 people. And then what we'll do is I will present the lecture, and then we'll have blocked time where each person participating we can talk through the energy dynamics of your particular situation. So it's a little bit like you get a seminar and you get a mini session with me. I did this class twice last week, and it was so amazing. You know, there was so much that came through that it was just so wonderful. You know, there were some real insights that people gained from their relationships, and I love explaining relationships in terms of the energy dynamics that are going on. So between the clairvoyance that I have and, you know, working with spiritual guidance of the highest light and on, it just ended up being really, truly amazing. I wanted to show you some of the things that I showed people in the seminar. We talked about having different perspectives and relationships and how that can be at issue. We talked about the scales of justice and how opposition in relationships is extremely difficult to overcome, how to step out of that and heal oneself. We talked about how to stop being defensive and to claim one's own personal energy back from certain situations. And we talked about approaching life and relationships from a centered place of self-love and how to establish that, and how to take action steps in the real world to shift our relationships and to heal the past by coming to a new understanding of how things were flowing, of how things flowed, of what the energy dynamics were interpersonally. And it was so wonderful. I'm so grateful to everyone who participated. So not everybody can do evenings, and so I thought I would offer it again. And I also realized that my material it's a 4-hour lecture. And so we're going to break it up over 2 days, and then each day you will have the ability to do Q&A, and you will have the ability to present your own situation. And we may schedule people depending on how many people I get, but I like at least 2. And if we had 4, that would be like the perfect number. So contact me at the link in the video details. It will be $222 for the 2-day seminar, which will include the lecture, time with me, a meditation, and that time with me is during the seminar, and hopefully some positive changes in your life in terms of orientation and approach. So, I think that everybody maybe left the classroom feeling a little bit freer and a little bit more understanding of the relationships in their lives. So join me. if you would like to do that this coming Saturday and Sunday, 8 a.m. Pacific time on the 20th and 21st of August. Let's do this. We've still got the Lionsgate energies flowing. Things feel under the surface. There's a lot of support. And so let's change our lives. Let's make it better. Okay, now let's look at the Schumann resonance. Here's what I want to show you about this wave. It's like you essentially have two things going on in the chart. The vertical waves, and then you have the white wave, which is different. You actually have two other patterns here. This pattern, which has been periodically appearing, and then here you've got almost nothing, right? But something has appeared here once in a while in the last few days. And you also have this pattern of blue and some green. Okay, so there's four things, but there's two primary, the vertical waves and then the white resonance wave here. So now I want to show you what that looks like looking at the ocean. This is so cool. Okay, so I'm going to use this video to explain what happened with that white resonance wave. This is awesome. Okay, so what you can do is, you see the wave ripples up here. You have the waves going this direction, and there's a wave, a peaking, a rippling of the water, of the ocean water, as it moves away from us. Then periodically, you have the sunlight beam through the ripples, okay? So this beam of light here is essentially what's happening here. So you have wave, wave, wave. Because waves at this level of frequency can go around the planet. So this is like the ocean wave rippling out away from us in the picture. Wave, 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 like that. And then this here is like the sunlight streaming through. So you have two things going on. You have the regular wave pattern that we've been seeing. And then separately, you have the white resonance wave coming in. Isn't that cool? Let's look at it again just because it's awesome. Okay, so how you can look at this related to the Schumann is we've got these waves, right, in the ocean that are proceeding away from us, just like the Schumann goes in waves around the planet. Now, visually, see how sometimes the sunlight is darker coming through the waves, right? It depends upon the shape of the wave, the shape that the water makes, and the sun's ability to shine through it. And so sometimes the light is darker, but sometimes something shines through much brighter. This is like the blue and the green, right? That's very muted right now on the chart. And the sunlight shining through is like the big wave of white resonance just suddenly appearing on the chart. Now this video is in seconds, and I'm comparing it to something that happens on the chart over days. So it's not exact, but it's a good way of showing how two things could happen at once. So I'm using light here to represent the second effect, the white resonance wave, and water and the actual waves of water flowing out from us in the video to represent the periodic effect happening on the chart from 10 a.m. or 9:30, 10 a.m. to like 2100, I think it is. That's been occurring many, many days in a row. And I think it's kind of cool, to look at it this way and to see that even though we have this periodic set of vertical energy that's coming like a wave periodically right on time every day for some reason right now, we are still getting other natural occurrences that typically happen, like this white resonance wave appearing. The nature of the energy here is different, right? Now, there may be more of the vertical rod waves underneath it, but we kind of can't see that because this large expression of white resonance on the chart it has taken priority. Isn't that interesting? Now, the wave occurred here from 18.5 hours to 21.5 hours, and you see you do get a good dip here in the frequencies, indicating it is an expanded energy. The strength here was much stronger than the rest of the vertical wave. So that's interesting, isn't it? Now, isn't this interesting? Today, the vertical wave has peaked much higher even than the white resonance wave. So that's pretty interesting. And then let's see what happened with the qualities. I mean, we did get peaks up, and the green rose to 16 before the white wave came in. But overall, the qualities are still pretty low to moderate. So it's interesting because the energy flows that are in our personal lives, within ourselves, in our relationships, to me, I don't see that as being really any different than the energy flows on the Schumann resonance in many ways. It's probably because I'm an energy girl. I've been thinking about energy my entire life. What I'd like to do is discuss a dynamic here involving this amazing, cool wave. Oops. I don't know how you guys did, but I literally could not sleep. Okay, when all of this energy was distributed over the chart, look at this. I mean, it's like a curtain. It's just, look at all this dark energy here. Look at that. It's truly amazing, isn't it? It's like dirt kicked up. It's incredible, incredible energy here. It's really unusual. You don't see, like all these little dark dots here this high up in the hertz. So overall, the Schumann resonance is considered in the extremely low frequency range. But what we're looking at in this part of the chart is that the resonances go from 0 to 40 hertz, which is the same as human brain waves, coincidentally. We're looking at this occurring in even up into the 30s and definitely in the 20s. Usually the energy clears by, the 20s, definitely by the mid-20s. But that's one of the things that makes these vertical rods so unusual. But here, it's just like a curtain, a solid curtain for hours. And like I said, I could not sleep. My mind was alert and awake, and it's not like anything in particular was going on or that I was focused on anything. It's just like, bam, I was awake. I was alert. And I don't think I went to bed until 3:30. I was lying there thinking I should make a video, but it was like I didn't have a lot of energy. I just had this like high alert observation state. If you guys, have been experiencing anything unusual, please share it in the comments. It's interesting. I can't comment on health related things, but you're welcome to share. And I have not been able to reply to comments as much this week because I've been exhausted from teaching my classes because I've had so many hours of classes this week. So but I really appreciate that you make the comments, and I do read them all. Now look at this. So this wave you can see here is completely different. Okay, so it's not like a continuation of these vertical waves. It's like another wave just came and right on top of what was already going on expressed itself right there. And this wave as well has an incredible amount of energy. The energy in the chart, you can relate it to human experience and what it means. And for God's sakes, this is from 0 to 40 hertz in brain waves. So this is within our range of brain waves. And I do feel that we can use this Schumann resonance as a map of human consciousness. There are other reasons as well that I list in the beginner playlist to talk about this. I have some thoughts about this. You know, when we're getting this dark energy so high up here, I think that, now this is a personal experience, it's like a lot of dissonances have been kicked up in our experience and essentially offered to us. So it's like, here is something that doesn't fit. Here is something that doesn't fit. Here is something that doesn't fit. And it's almost like it's black because it's covering up the true nature, right? So see how it's really actually, maybe it's dark green here, but it's a dark, dark, dark green. It's covering up the true nature of the energy. So we're offered something, but it's covered up. And it stands out because it's dissonant. And dissonant means that it has a vibration that doesn't fit your normal reality. So how I like to explain this in a way is this. If I have white rice in a bowl, okay, and I shake the bowl just gently, what will happen? The little bits in the rice, like the little tiny bits of seed hulls or any impurities, what happens? They shake their way up to the top. And why is that? It's because the vibration of all of the little kernels of rice together, those little bits don't have the same vibration, and they shake themselves out and sort themselves out and rise up to the top. And then you can pick them out and you can separate things that have become entangled. Well, it's like that. It's like our reality has had things that are resonant for us and things that are very dissonant for us, all mixed together in a way that we couldn't tell the difference between the two of them. And now, suddenly, with this energy, that which is dissonant is rising up to the top for us to see. And the question is, are we going to acknowledge it? Because, you see, the mind doesn't feel safe acknowledging dissonance if there's no plan B, right? If there's no backup plan for, what if this dissonance seems to turn my life upside down? If the mind thinks something could happen that we can't handle, it will not allow us to recognize it and we'll be in denial. I'm having coffee with you guys today, so pardon my coffee sipping. Hey, what would be something dissonant? I have a parent, and the parent does not act loving to me. But wait, that doesn't make any sense. All moms and dads love their kids, therefore it must be my fault, right, as a child. Well, that sets up an entire spectrum of things that we can possibly bring up in the forgiveness seminar that I'm doing this coming weekend. So if I have been that child, okay, when I'm ready, right, when I'm an adult, when I get into the place where I am in a place of safety, understanding that there was something wrong with my mom or something wrong with my dad or something wrong in the relationship, and maybe it even impacted me, right? But it's something where I couldn't handle that information as a child. So then that information comes up, okay, and I'll pick one of these dissonant pieces here, okay, in multicolor. Okay, there's yellow, there's gray, green, there's orange, orange, yellow. All of this context around this bit of information. And am I willing to just rip the Band-Aid off and say, oh, this is the truth here? Okay, and maybe when I rip the Band-Aid off, the colors are, a horrendous shade of vomit. I don't know. And then maybe when I clean that, there's something beautiful underneath. And what's beautiful underneath is love, understanding, and acceptance for myself first, and compassion for the other person involved.